some of that space.
Fine. I mean, we heard in one specific situation when I think Safeway merged with Albertson. They almost switched between RPC suppliers apparently within a few weeks. So there's a very quick turnover in terms of their own preference. And well, I don't know if it was RPC suppliers or if they just wanted cardboard boxes. But do you have any comments regarding that switch? Like that seems very non-sticky, despite having them having quite a strong foothold within the company.
Yeah, not specifically. I know that it's possible. It takes a fair number of resources of someone the size of Safe and Albertsons for them to get this done. But yeah, it could be done with the stroke of a pen, and then everyone gets to work. In a matter of weeks, it can certainly happen. And RPCs might be slightly easier to switch RPC poolers compared to pallet poolers. But again, it's just something that can be done. It's just a matter of
that's actually quite Again, it sounds quite interesting because we've noticed, for example, in a few other calls, a company like Walmart would use loads of different RPC suppliers. Because obviously apparently in North America, the business model works in a way where the producers pick which cooler they want and hence which RPC box they're using. So when it comes into Walmart, they have loads of different RPC boxes. Hence, it's not segmented towards saying 100% IFCO or 100% something else. But I guess it could be different for the pallets. I guess the pallets could be a different scenario in terms of the whole transportation, and when it comes back to how you said it can be conjoined to the back kind of where the delivery side in terms of how many pallets they've got, how many what the transfer is. So I guess there's a bit more stickiness in the pallet side as opposed to the RPC side.
I think there might be, but again, there's probably no retailer that can actually specifically say we only accept Shep pallets or we only accept IGPS. They may try, but there's still going to be some amounts that come in. They've got their own preferences, but yes, as you say, yeah, for the RPCs, there must be. I think I'm starting to talk this out. There must be less stickiness on the RPC pooling side of the business because there are dozens of different ones that go into a retailer.
Got it. And when looking at Walmart, say, surely, as I said, they have loads of different producers. They wouldn't have a specific pallet kind of shortlist, right? Like they wouldn't say we only want Shep pallets.
Right. No, what they will do is that I'll give you the instance of Costco, and they've been very public about this. They've said we will only receive goods on a block pallet. So therefore, the previous, the stringer style pallet, the kind of what we call the one-way pallet or the whitewood pallet, those no longer go into Costco. So it's forced a lot of even small, suppliers to go and seek out pallet poolers options because purchasing a block pallet and to ship one way it's a very expensive, thing a challenge to take on. So yeah, they can say this, and there have been some retailers that have said yes, we will accept anything because they really can't dictate what the exact company of the type of pallet, but they can dictate we want a pooled pallet or we want a block style pallet, and yes, maybe within that we prefer IGPS number 1, Shep number 2, and yada yada, where they're going down the line, and then it's all part of a negotiating between them and their suppliers for how they work with price.
Got it. And who do you think the pricing power sits with? Say, for example, how you said there is pallet systems can be fully integrated sometimes with the retailer's functions. Surely the retailer has quite a bit of power now to say, all right, next year's contract's going to be reduced this much, or you can leave, or something like that. As there are loads of producers or pallet providers out there or poolers out there. Surely they have the pricing power by saying, next year we want it 5% less, or yada yada.
Yep, that's exactly what happens. And then in turn, because let's say a pallet pooler their network could be affected severely by knowing, okay, we have this one location here, or maybe it's 12 or 20 or 80 throughout the U.S. where we had control of these docks. If we lose this contract, we have to completely rethink our logistics strategy, because we've built our network around assuming that we have this sortation on site at this customer. So therefore, they will cave to price quite often if the retailer understands that how much control they have over pricing. And it does happen. Yes, it's a major concern.
Okay, the major question.
Let me add one more wrinkle to this too. There are I wouldn't call them coolers, but there's another company that's called Northwest Pallet.
Northwest Pallet.
Northwest Pallet.
Okay, Northwest.
And they're like they're like a recycler.
Okay.
And what they've done is they've kind of seen this opportunity, and they've come in and taken quite a bit of this back dock operations in space and pulled it away from the pallet poolers to themselves. And the interesting thing is that because of once they have control of a retailer's back dock, and they offer them great programs where they kick back certain amounts. So for every, I don't know, let's say for every pallet that they unload from a trailer and sort and segregate, they may actually pay the retailer some small fee, because what Northwest Pallet does in turn, they sort and segregate all the pallet poolers and separate them, and then they charge the pallet poolers a fee to retrieve the pallets.
Wow, okay.
So they've gotten into the mix as well, yes.
Sorry, I'm just noting that down.
Mm-hmm.
And why wouldn't CHEP itself want to have control of the back dock operation? Surely that's where they have the advantage, right, with the retailer when they move in and manage their whole back dock.
Yes, right. They do, and they always do. And actually, I mentioned the Walmart example. Walmart became aware of the type of how much control CHEP had over their business. I don't know, probably 10, 15 years ago, whenever CHEP did operate what they call TPMs in almost every Walmart distribution center in the U.S. And then at some point in time, too, that's when there was a discrepancy or a pallet deficit as an audit where CHEP was saying that Walmart was liable for millions of pallets. And Walmart realized they probably were, and they really had no way to prove it, and that's when CHEP got kicked out. So CHEP has not had any control of any Walmart distribution center in a long time, 10 or 15 years. And they've kind of created another, they've separated, they've realized just how much control their partners, if you will, can have over their business by operating their back docks exclusively. So they've made sure to keep it kind of, they have different companies that do it now, but it's not, they've made very clear they will never have just one. So they keep it spread out kind of regionally. I think they have 3 or 4 or 5 different companies that do this work.
Okay. So they wouldn't have this, as you say, integrated back office software for each of these 5 different companies that'd be working. It would just be kind of like come as they go, use your own, you can track them yourselves and you can do it, but your pallets will be here and you can collect them or keep them.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And really, one thing that's kind of a new trend for the retailers, they've become wise to the program, and they realize that there's very little they can do. There's some things they can do behaviorally, but it's almost impossible for them to completely eliminate losses if they've historically had them, just for a variety of reasons. We could talk about that for hours as well. But what they're doing is when they're renegotiating their contracts, so they're renewing their contracts, they're asking for no loss liability at all. And if you're a pallet pooler like CHEP, where you have millions, tens of millions, 60, 70, 80 million pallets per year that flow into Walmart, you can't you can't say no. It's just it would cost the business too much money to say no. So really, CHEP has assumed almost all loss liability for a company like Walmart. And really, it's moving more and more that way. The retailers, they have control. They don't want to assume any loss liability. And the pallet poolers, all the poolers, they're absorbing it themselves, and they're putting some time, money, and resources